Hello friends, it's Heather and it's my turn to do a tutorial over at Really Reasonable Ribbon. So I thought I would show you how to make my springtime floral pen. So I'm going to go ahead and bring this a little closer to the camera so you can see all my elements. I have some of the jute trim and moss as well as the moss or green pom-pom trim and some of the moss leaves trim. Then I have some of the baker's twine and cotton candy, some of the Juliet lace right here. Let's see if I can get my camera to focus again. All right, let's move over to this side. There we go. And I have some more of the Juliet trim. And then I just have some ivory colored seam binding and the pink ribbon I used for my flower. And I believe I got this little pink and white 1/8 inch wide diagonal trim, and these are all from Really Reasonable Ribbon. I've also used some beads from my stash, a rhinestone flower from my stash, just a porcelain flower, little piece of beads, like a drop bead trim, antique button, as well as a little heart, metal heart shape pendant with another bead in the center. And I think that covers most of my embellishments. The back, I just simply covered with some material and then I used a pin back. Right, so I'm going to go ahead and get started on my tutorial now. And I hope that you like my pin. Alright, so make sure my camera stays in focus. Okay, I started out with the box, just plain old cereal like type box, nothing too thick. This is a Quaker oatmeal. I drew out a circle and 3 leaves and then I just cut it out. I drew on 5 lines, which you'll need to have 5 or any odd number. So 5, 7, 9. The more your flower will look a little different. It'll be beautiful, but I'm just going to do 5. Now, I also have poked a hole in the center of my flower, as well as one over here, and I just kind of decided to change where my line was going. And I have a hole poked here and here because I'm going to be using some string to put here so that whenever we're making our flower down here, we'll be weaving the ribbon around in a circle, which I'm sure you've seen that tutorial. There's one, I believe, on YouTube. I'm sure they're all over the place, but this one's just slightly different because I went ahead and just added some leaves. Okay, so I will be right back with the thread and everything. So I'll be back. Okay, I'm back and I have my tapestry needle all threaded and I'm actually using baker's twine. But actually I wouldn't, in the future, I don't know that I would use the baker's twine. I thought it might actually show up in my flower, but it doesn't. So I would just use some like embroidery floss that's like going to be the color of your flower, and that would work out just fine. And you're going to leave a little tail in the back so you can glue it down or tape it down. And then you're just going to go through the center. Pull it through here. There we go. And then I'm going to just come back up and go back through the center again. And then I'll just move this over a little bit to where I want it. And I'm going to come up through this hole here. Go. And back down to the center. And I am going to do the same thing yet again, and then one more time. And like I said, if you wanted, you could do more. It's just important to have an odd number so that when you're going and weaving your ribbon over, under, you don't end up having a even number where you're always under this, always over that. So that's the importance for the odd number. So we go through this last one here and down through the center. Okay. There we go. And I'm going to go ahead and just use a little bit of glue here to just glue this down. Okay, and you want it to be kind of tight. There we go. Okay. Now, what I did next was I used some of the green, moss green jute, and all I did was glue that down on my leaves. So I'm going to go ahead and just put a little glue here, and a glue gun. And then I'm just gonna stick that on and make sure I have it stuck on there nice. Do the same thing with the other two leaves. Some more. Let's see. There we go. And the last one here. Alright. And I'm just going to press that down. And this is what it looks like at this moment. Alright, you're going to flip it over and use your scissors to just trim off the green, so that then when you turn it back over, it resembles more of a leaf. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'll be right back. I have gone ahead and I have trimmed all my green. And if you wanted, you could actually paint underneath here if you wanted to. I did not with my original one. I think it adds a little bit more depth if you can kind of see the cardboard through. Plus, no one's going to be seeing it that close anyway, but I just think it gives it more depth. Otherwise, I think all the green would just kind of blend in with each other. Alright, I decided to go ahead now and line my leaves with the moss green pom-pom trim. And all I am doing is simply just adding a little glue around the edges here, and then manipulating my pom-poms to where I want them to be. So, and I need to get a new glue stick here because I'm running out of glue. So let's do that here. And put this out of the way for a second. There we go. And just go ahead and put your pom-pom trim on. My cat is, well, one of my kitties is up on the table, and he usually likes to hang out the lights, so he may pop his head in here in a moment. But I am going to go ahead and finish adding the pom-poms to the rest of my pin, and I'll be right back. Okay, I have all my leaves finished. So I have my green pom-pom trim, and I have the jute ribbon in place. And now I have my pink ribbon, which I've threaded in my embroidery needle. I'm just going to come up through the center here. And I just cut like a 2-yard piece of ribbon. I'm just going to pull that through. It gets kind of difficult when you get a whole bunch of thread in there. And it's a pretty big needle. So let me see. I might have to pull it off camera here real quick. Hold on. There we go. Okay. And I'm just going to pull pretty much to the end here. And I'm just starting out with the kind of long piece because I'm never too sure how tight I'm going to be pulling and everything. So, alright, then you're going to want to start, just kind of flip your piece over and then go under the first and then over the next in the circle. So let me just see if I can get this closer here so you see how I'm under this one. So there we go. There it is. Okay, and you want to try to keep your ribbon kind of straight. So let me see here. There we go. So I have gone under this one here. I'm going to go over this one. Alright. And then I'm under this one. So I'm over, then under, and then over again. Just got to make sure you keep your ribbon straight when you're doing all your tucking and everything. So there we go. So that's going to make your center. And it doesn't really matter so much what your center is looking like, because like I said, I used a little sparkly jewel. You could use a button or something in the center, and no one's going to really see it. All right, so I went under, so I'm over. I'm going to go back under, and then I'm coming back to where I went the first time, and I'll be going over it this time. So I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick. And my cat is really interested in grabbing this ribbon, so hopefully he won't pop in on our video. And this will be Mr. Kittens, who is actually the shy kitty, so I'm kind of surprised. All right, so here's that. I'm going to go ahead and go around one more time on the camera for you. So I'm under this one, and then I'm just going to go ahead and do the rest in a moment. And you do have to play around with your ribbon. I have to admit, it's kind of a lot more playing than I like to do, but you know, there we go. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and continue to go over and under and over and under until I'm all the way toward the outside, and I'll be right back. Okay, I have all my leaves finished. So I have my green pom-pom trim, and I have the jute ribbon in place. And now I have my pink ribbon, which I've threaded in my embroidery needle. I'm just going to come up through the center here. And I just cut like a 2-yard piece of ribbon. I'm just going to pull that through. It gets kind of difficult when you get a whole bunch of thread in there. And it's a pretty big needle. So let me see. I might have to pull it off camera here real quick. Hold on. There we go. Okay. And I'm just going to pull pretty much to the end here. And I'm just starting out with the kind of long piece because I'm never too sure how tight I'm going to be pulling and everything. So, all right, then you're going to want to start, just kind of flip your piece over and then go under the first and then over the next in the circle. So let me just see if I can get this closer here so you see how I'm under this one. So there we go. There it is. Okay, and you want to try to keep your ribbon kind of straight. So let me see here. There we go. So I have gone, I'm under this one here. I'm going to go over this one. All right. And then I'm under this one. So I'm over, then under, and then over again. You just got to make sure you keep your ribbon straight when you're doing all your tucking and everything. So there we go. So that's going to make your center. And it doesn't really matter so much what your center is looking like because like I said, I used a little sparkly jewel. You could use a button or something in the center, and no one's going to really see it. All right, so I went under, so I'm over. I'm going to go back under. And then I'm coming back to where I went the first time, and I'll be going over it this time. So I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick. And my cat is really interested in grabbing this ribbon, so hopefully he won't pop in on our video. And this will be Mr. Kittens, who is actually the shy kitty, so I'm kind of surprised. All right, so here's that. I'm going to go ahead and go around one more time on the camera for you. So I'm under this one, and then I'm just going to go ahead and do the rest in a moment. And you do have to play around with your ribbon. I have to admit, it's kind of a lot more playing than I like to do, but you know, there we go. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and continue to go over and under and over and under until I'm all the way toward the outside, and I'll be right back. Okay, I finished weaving my ribbon all the way around, and then I just decided to finish it off by this last piece. I just tucked it behind here and then glued it down. Otherwise, you can tuck it underneath and glue it. That works either way. It just so happened that it worked out well just to end it right here. So here's my flower and the leaves. Okay, next I'm going to cut a couple little tiny pieces of the diagonal trim, and I don't usually measure anything, so I'm just going to make a snip, and I'm just going to kind of eyeball this. I'm making a loop, and then I'm just going to put a little glue here so my two ends will stick together. And there we go, and I'm going to do another little sort of loop here. Okay, and snip this, and I'll get my glue gun out again and just stick that together. So I've just got two little loops, and then you can make them, you know, however long you kind of want, really. And then I just eyeball like how I think I might put this on my shirt. So let's say I'm gonna stick these like right here. So I'll just add a little bit of glue to the back. There we go. That's actually kind of a lot of glue, but that's okay. And I'm going to go ahead and stick one of these here. Actually, I'm going to make it a little smaller so it's not quite so big. Okay. And then I'm going to grab the other one. And I'm going to kind of stick it over here. There we go. So I've got both my little pieces of pink and white ribbon poking out from one side. Okay, and I'm going to show you this is the little heart charm I used, and these are some of the beads. They're just little glass beads, you know, in multiple different colors, but I'm just using kind of like a champagne ivory color. These here, those are what I'm going to be using. And then I'm going to take the new Juliet lace, which is my new favorite thing at Really Reasonable Ribbon. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to snip it where the little natural groove is, actually. So just kind of right in that groove. And I'm going to do 3 of them. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and tuck one like right here. So I'll put a little glue in the back. Let's see. Actually, I'm going to snip this ribbon. Get that out of the way first. Okay. And then find my little Juliet ribbon. Add some glue. And just kind of pop my little piece there. There it goes. So it's just barely peeking out. All right. And then I'm going to do another one over here. So I'm just going to add some glue. And working on a crochet top and trying to find Juliet lace is kind of difficult when you just kind of drop it down. There we go. So now I've got 2. There we go. They're just kind of poking out. You can have them poking out farther if you like, or less. You can add them wherever you want them. I didn't have one behind the pink, but you could put one behind the pink. So let me see, I can cut one more because, oh, here we go. Here's the one I dropped. So if I wanted to, I could go ahead and stick one there. That would be kind of pretty. So I guess, I'm going to just go ahead and do it for fun. Why not? It's my project. I can do what I want. So I'm going to go ahead, just kind of throw some glue in here everywhere. And then maybe press that down. And then again, I dropped, there we go, my trim. And I'm just going to stick it right behind. So you won't see it too much, but it is there, just hidden. All right, so next I'm going to go ahead and just glue my, let's see, actually I'm going to find a piece of seam binding ivory, which, let's see, here we go. I got a piece right here. And I'm going to cut that so I can make a little tiny bow. So let's do that. And all I did was take it through the clasp part here, a little hole at the top. So I'm just going to thread my seam binding through there. And that's going to take me a minute because I can hardly see, even with my glasses on. It's kind of sad. Alright, so I've done that, and I'm just going to simply tie a little knot. Maybe not a good tie knot too. There we go. Got a knot going. There we go. Alright. There we go. Okay. And then, so I got this little ribbon, and then I'm just going to cut the edges here, trim them. Do the same on the side. And what can I have with that? I'm going to cut this one a little shorter. There we go. And I'm just going to kind of put it right here. So I'm going to go ahead and just put a little bead of glue. And I'm going to just stick my heart right on there with my little ribbon bow. And then just put another little dollop of glue in the center of your heart. But you can use, whatever you have out of your stash. And then I just put a bead in the center of it. So let's see if I can get this little bead in there. There we go. So now I have my bead. Oops. There we go. So I got the bead with the heart and the bow. Alright, next you'll just take a vintage button. And I've got one with 4 holes. You can use however many holes you want. And you're going to take a baker's twine. I just got a piece here that I had laying around already. And I'm going to go ahead and just kind of thread it through, hopefully. And let's see, here we go. Maybe, maybe not. Things always seem to take longer when you're doing it on camera. It's like it never wants to, work with you. So whatever's going to happen is going to happen when you're doing it on camera. So it's going to take me 30 minutes, although normally this takes me no time at all. So there we go. Alright. So there's one. And I'm going to come back up through one. Okay. And then down diagonally. Just so you can see what I've done here. And then you're going to come back up through that last hole. now you can just tie. I'm just going to tie a knot first. And you can adjust your ribbon so you don't waste so much, but I usually end up using all my scraps anyway, so I don't care so much. I'm doing, I'm just tying a little bow. And then I'm going to come back and adjust it with the tails so that I get it about the size I want. So let's see. That's kind of cute. It's got a good size there. There we go. Okay, glue on my fingers. Drives me nuts sometimes. Okay. And I'm going to pull this one and make it bigger for a second here. And then come back, make it a little smaller. And make that one a little smaller. And then kind of pull it tight one more time. Alright. Good enough. And then I'm just going to trim it just past the button's edge. So there we go. I'm going to get my little button tie. Okay, and I'm just going to put it, I think, like right here. So I'm going to go ahead and stick some glue right here, kind of up on the flower and on the leaf. And then I'm just going to get my button on there, like that. And I'm happy with that so far. Let's see if I can get my camera. There we go. Okay. Whoops. There's strings everywhere. Alright. Let's see. I'm going to now take and I'm going to do the easy part. Just grab 3 beads. And I'm just going to put a little dollop of glue here. Right here. Okay, and then I'm going to just poke these 3 beads. 1, 2, and 3. Just add something to that leaf. Okay. And then I'm going to snip off 2 of my May Arts leaves from Really Reasonable ribbon from the whole piece of trim, because I'm just going to use just the leaves. Okay. And I'm going to get a little porcelain flower out of my bag here. And I'm sure you guys all have one of these little bags full of goodies that are just leftovers. And I'm going to take this piece of trim here, this drop beaded trim, and I'm going to just snip off one of these long pearls. Okay. And then I'm going to stick it, well, I'm going to have it kind of come out like this. Maybe I'll have it come out from the flower. Yeah, I can go. Let's see. So I'm going to go ahead and just put a little dollop glue there. And I'm just going to set it right here. There we go. And then I kind of play around a little bit, trying to decide where I want to put my flower. So I think my flower will go here. So that means I want to put a leaf like right there. So I'm going to go ahead and put some glue on my leaf. So I'll do that here. And then I'm just going to kind of put that kind of where I think I want that to go. And my other leaf ready. And let's see, if I put my flower here, I can do the other leaf coming up this way a little bit. So, let's see what I've got here. So I'm going to just kind of go right like this. There we go. And then I'm going to totally dry, so you can pull these little glue strands off. And I'm going to just put a dab of glue here so I can stick my pink floral around. There we go. And voila! There is our ribbon in our ribbon flower leaf, springy leaf pen. Go ahead and bring that up closer so you can see it up close. All the little elements. Right now I'll be right back to show you how I did the back. Okay, next I'm just going to add a bunch of hot glue to the back here. To like one leaf at a time, kind of. Works good. And I just have a piece of material that I know is bigger than the back of my pen. And I'm just going to go ahead and mash down this piece of material over the area that I've glued. And I'm going to fold it back and then add some more glue to this back. And then I will press the material down into the glue. Okay. I'm going to do the same thing with this last side over here. Oops. The nice thing about the hot glue is it does dry pretty quick, but it does get hot, so be careful. And so this is kind of what it looks like from the front. It's just on a piece of material. And then I just kind of trimmed around. And this is like some material I just found in my basement that I've had forever. So I just trimmed right around the piece. There we go. Get rid of the excess. And then I just come back through and kind of cut like right along where the glue lines are. So just be careful not to cut any of your trims away. And if you want, if you're the kind of person, you could go ahead and trace and make it a little bigger than what your cardboard piece was, and that would be fine. But I'm kind of one of those people that always do things, I don't know, maybe the hard way. That's just how I am. So you could do it a different way. That'd be totally fine. Or if you wanted, you could maybe just put another piece of paper or another piece of cardboard on the back and paint it to make it look real pretty. But that's pretty much what I do. So I'm going to go ahead and finish trimming that, and then I'll be right back because my video is getting really long. Alright, I've trimmed up my material, and I'm going to go ahead and just glue, put a little bead of glue here across the back. And then I'm going to go ahead and stick my pin back in there as soon as I get this extra glue off my pin back. There we go. Kind of press down so that the little pile of glue comes up through the little holes. Form some little beads of like glue there. You can just kind of see how they maybe pop up through. There you go. You can see the glue popping through my pen there. And then you're finished. So you just want to let that dry. And then you can give this to one of your friends, or you can keep it for yourself and put it on your coat. Oh, actually, I forgot to put a little piece of trim in there, a little flower or something. So let me see. Actually, I've got like this red, which is way too bright and too big. So I think I'm going to have to run back to the basement and find one, and I will be right back. Alright, I found a rhinestone, and I'm just going to put a little dollop of glue here in the center. My green flower. And I'm just going to go ahead and poke my little flower bead in there, the rhinestone. And there you have it. Right, if you have any questions, you can email me at heatherahudson@gmail.com, or you can send me a message through YouTube, or you can visit my blog, heatherahudson.blogspot.com, or you can check out my post over at the Really Reasonable Ribbon blog, which is reallyreasonableRibbon.blogspot.com, I believe. All right, have a great day, and I hope you enjoy my tutorial. Bye.